As we move to the junior high, we again created a framework that provides opportunities for our students to further explore in their learning through choice that fits with this level. The junior high, we kind of took it as a year 1 and a year 2. So starting with the 2012-2013 school year, we would implement the seminar workshop model. What this would allow is for students to choose additional areas of interest to further explore through a seminar workshop model that allows for a variety of choice, including the core content, the social studies, science, language arts, math, exploratory courses such as art, Spanish, industrial tech, family and consumer science, our music, and our physical education. The seminar workshop model would allow for multi-grade level possibilities, as well as an opportunity for our current teams to extend cross-curricular projects, and with the idea of some co-facilitation and cross-content collaboration between teachers. This would give students an opportunity for some independent inquiry projects, as well as build those 21st century skills such as time management, organization, self-discipline, and communication. The second year of change at the junior high would be introducing some focused teams. The first team, Team Explore, would be a 7th grade team and then an 8th grade team. The focus would be the STEM principles, science, technology, engineering, math. The junior high is keeping the same foundation that the elementary and intermediate schools have built upon, the inquiry and leadership. On Team Explore, the staff and students would be integrating those STEM concepts and the design process into the core content. Moving into Team Lead, again a 7th grade lead and an 8th grade lead. The focus, of course, would be on leadership, keeping the foundation of inquiry along with leadership. On Team Lead, students would be applying their leadership through students' individual strengths to impact their local as well as their global community, so taking it a step further from the intermediate level. Our final proposed team for the junior high would be a 7th, 8th grade Team Natura. The focus here would be the environment, still keeping with the same foundation of inquiry and leadership. On Team Natura, we'd really emphasize students' place within the environment, both looking at their influence and responsibility. The next step is for us to move into grade configuration. As you recall, one of the most important survey questions we pose to our staff, parents, and students throughout this process is the question of grade level configurations. This is the time to really reflect and analyze if our current grade level configurations are what is best for our children, or simply fit what we've always done. These were the results from the November-December survey. You can see that K2, 3-5, and 6-8 was the top choice. But as we studied this, especially in the realm of 6-8, we found that this was not a way to meet student and program needs. We further studied the K4, 5, 6, 7, 8 configuration and found that keeping transitions minimal, but they do happen, having them at times that fit with cognitive and social needs and that provide time for students to settle into the transition is important.
Thus, we found that the second option that was indicated in surveys does provide some sound rationale. So we will share with you the rationale behind why we chose these grade configurations. Kindergarten through 4th grade fit when looking at the whole child, social, emotional, cognitively, morally, more aligned to certain level of development. It allows kids to mature and feel confident as a 4th grader. What we consider a 4th grade dip, which is a national-wide dip that 4th graders testing-wise kind of fall, creates a challenge. And so what we look at here is maybe if they are being the leaders at the end of their K4 experience, that it would give them more opportunities to keep that consistency for growth and leadership.
And moving on to our 5th and 6th grade combination, putting these two grades together really provides a path for choice so students aren't stuck, but it also provides the opportunity to take a different action and direction It also provides for collaboration between students and staff across both grade levels. In addition, it also provides for 5th and 6th graders a chance to grow and develop as really developmentally they're closer together. And this also eliminates the current one-year transition we see now and the challenges that come with it.
As we look at our rationale for keeping our 7th and 8th graders together as we currently have them, one of the reasons for this is just the unique space needs that this higher level of coursework needs. The room for extracurricular space and the importance of that. Also, as we look at our 7th and 8th graders, they really are developmentally closer together than, say, a 6th and 7th grader, or the idea of putting our 6th graders in with our 8th graders. And one of the unique opportunities we currently have at the junior high because of our configuration is that we're able to move some standards and coursework from the high school into our junior high for those students that are ready for them, such as our algebra courses and geometry courses, and looking into that STEM concept in our industrial tech with the project Lead the Way through Gateway to Technology.
Now we're going to move to some information on the K through 4 framework and looking at our schools and the process of how these would look like and maybe what these could look like within the content or their curriculum. And as we combine the previously described frameworks with these grade level configurations, we actually developed the following framework for our K through 4. As we showed earlier, leadership and inquiry remain that foundational operating system, and the choice then comes to the focus areas, or that lens of design, wonder, investigation, and lead. For example, as a grade level as teaching a social studies unit on the Revolutionary War, all classrooms at that grade level would be teaching the core understandings and standards connected with the unit. But if you were in the lead by design, it might look like this. Imagine that you are looking at how you're going to move 900-pound cannons to Boston. You're General Washington, and you've got to go scare the British out of there. How are you going to go about taking this 900-pound cannon and moving it? What are the problems and issues as an engineering standpoint that you're going to accomplish this task? Looking at the lead by wonder, you might be thinking, okay, I'm a 16-year-old going off to war. What are you going to be wondering before you go off to war as you pack your bag for maybe the last time and say goodbye to your family? And so some of those wondering elements are going to start to affect your actions, and how is that going to affect your actions? Looking at lead by investigation, it's more of the way that students demonstrate their learning might be more of a project. Maybe the way they demonstrate their learning through dramatization, writing project, digital media, etc., where they're kind of able to act out those particular roles. Maybe a hot seat where they're able to pretend to be, maybe the traitor, Benedict Arnold, and what was he thinking as he went through this process. Looking at maybe lead, you might be more intentional about analyzing the decisions that were made. That brought you up to the war and then into the war. What were some examples of being proactive in regards to preparation? Washington bringing his army to Valley Forge and forging his army literally and figuratively right there in that place was essential in regards to the preparation. What character traits influenced the decisions that are being made, and how did it impact the outcomes? These are just 4 different ways within one curriculum of social studies that allow you to kind of bridge and see how this can look very different each school, but still stay very similar to the same.
Our intermediate grades of 5 and 6 become that pathway of E-STEM and leadership and action. This framework continues the foundation of inquiry and leadership, but expand upon the focus areas. That first one, environmental STEM, of course, is that focus on the environment, science, technology, and engineering at a deeper level.
The leadership in action, again, you have a focus on, your emphasis is on leadership. Expanded project-based, more project-based, very authentic learning opportunities. Leadership impacting self, others, and your community. Now going, again, it's leadership in action, which is taking it out into the community. Personal and academic goal setting, and students tracking, monitoring, and communicating their progress.
But please note that inquiry and leadership are still the foundation of these 2 schools as well.
Finally, our junior high combines the seminar workshop model for year 1, then followed by the focus team starting that 2013-2014 school year. Again, we really work to provide pathways for our students, both in choosing to continue a path previously chosen or the opportunity to switch to a different interest area, along with giving students a wide variety of some choice opportunities within their learning experience.
Now that you've heard our blueprint or proposal for the future here in Owatonna, we'd like you to take you back to those questions that we posed at the beginning. That first one, how would this impact our students?
What would this do to the culture of our schools?
Given time, what would this do for our community?
What if all learning were like this?
As we close, we want to share with you our next steps in the plans. We did have the opportunity to meet at our elementary sites and have some parent forums on February 24th. Right now, we're taking the feedback from those forums in our design communication loop and really looking at those as we move towards the implementation phase, which is starting today, February 28th, through March 18th. We will follow that up with another communication loop, so look for that in April, along with another chance again to really look at the feedback that you give us as we move forward in this project. Our next step, too, is presenting our final plans to the school board come this spring 2011. We really appreciate the time you've given us in listening to our proposal, looking through, and being open to this unique opportunity for our district here in Owatonna.